Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to share with you my top 5 most listened to artists in my record collection. This video was suggested by Laura. She commented this video idea. If you have any video ideas or suggestions for me, you can leave them in the comments. I'm not going to rank these artists in any particular order, but these are my top 5 most listened to artists in my entire vinyl record collection. I honestly don't know who would be my number 1. I know these are my top 5 for sure. First, I wanted to talk about a few honorable mentions. Originally, I was going to make this video a top 10, but I decided to narrow it down to a top 5, and those artists that I wanted to give a shout out to are Calvin Harris, Skrillex, Hans Zimmer, Ludwig Göransson, and Zedd. Now let's get on to my real official top 5 most listened to artists and bands in my entire record collection. So let's start off with 5 Seconds of Summer. I've got Sounds Good Feels Good, their second album. It's on black vinyl. I don't have their first debut album on vinyl, sadly. I also have Youngblood on vinyl, my personal favorite. This is by far my favorite Five Sauce album. This one is on black vinyl. And kind of to go along with that, I have their Meet You There Tour live album. This is when they had their Youngblood tour, but it was called the Meet You There tour. This is on black vinyl, and I think it's the only live album I have in my entire record collection, which is great because I really love this live album. And then I have 2 copies of Calm. Calm is their 4th album, and this is the +1 edition that has an extra bonus song, Kill My Time, on it. This is on hot pink vinyl. My other copy of Calm comes from Target. This is the Target exclusive with a different cover, and this one is on blue vinyl. This was actually, I think, the very first record I ever got. I also have their latest album called Five Sauce 5. I've got 2 copies of that. This is the Urban Outfitters exclusive, the Candy Floss limited edition vinyl. Here's what the Candy Floss looks like. I really love the pink color. And then I also have the deluxe edition of Five Sauce 5. It's got a couple bonus songs on there, so I had to get it. And this one is on white vinyl. And then I also have 2 45s. I have this single, Teeth, and I have the Easier Flexi Disc. Five Sauce was technically the very first band or artist that I ever started collecting. I got all of their albums on vinyl at the time as soon as I could. They've definitely been in my collection from day one, so that makes them one of my most listened to bands or artists. They are definitely my number 1 favorite band. Rock is not one of my favorite genres, so I really only listen to pop rock bands, and Five Sauce definitely falls into that. Their music definitely has a little bit of a pop and indie, even a little bit of an electronic influence. That's why I like it more than just regular rock. I've been a fan of Five Sauce for so many years now. Five Sauce were one of the very first bands and artists that I ever discovered and listened to like every single day. I love Youngblood so much. I played that album literally every day. I'm not even kidding. I would listen to that album every single day at school. So of course when I started collecting vinyl, I got Youngblood. They have all of their albums on vinyl and tons of colored variants. So when their new albums come out, it's always fun to go hunt down some colored copies of their records. I have so many great memories surrounding every single album, so when I play them on vinyl, it definitely brings back a lot of memories when I first discovered them and played them at school and all that kind of stuff. I have 3 albums by the band Camino. I have their EP Try Hard on vinyl. This one is the orange pressing, which is really rare and expensive. It's one of my most valuable records. I also have their self-titled debut album. So this one is called The Band Camino, and this one is on black and yellow splatter. And I also have their most recent album, their 2nd studio album. This album is called The Dark, and this is on clear vinyl. I'm pretty sure my favorite album / record of theirs would be Try Hard, even though it's technically an EP. This is my favorite project of theirs. I love playing this record so much. I actually heard about the band Camino through 5 Seconds of Summer, so if it wasn't for me being a Five Sauce fan, I would have never discovered the band Camino probably. I got their Try Hard EP very early on in my record collecting journey, and I've played it non-stop ever since. So if you haven't heard of them and you haven't heard of their music, I highly recommend them just because they are so underrated. I love their music so much, and since I am a big Five Sauce fan, I ended up really liking the band Camino because I feel like both bands have a lot of similarities in terms of their style and genres. I really love how talented each member is. There's 3 band members. 2 of them sing. They're all multi-talented and they can all play multiple different instruments. And I also really love their unique sound and style. They have a really nice mixture of pop, rock, indie, and a little bit of electronic in there as well. They have lots of amazing guitar solos, and they also have really cool vocal chops, and they also use a lot of synth truths in their music, especially in their Try Hard EP. So I just like how the band Camino merges the different styles. Honestly, what drew me to this band is their Try Hard EP. I heard a few singles off of that EP and I was hooked. I loved them instantly. I feel like I really followed along with their journey because I became a fan before their debut album came out, so I was able to experience that journey with them through their first album and their second album. It was really fun to experience that with like a newish kind of band. The next artists that I'm going to talk about are the Chainsmokers. Technically they're a duo, they're two DJs, two producers. I'm pretty sure I am a Chainsmokers completist. They don't have all of their albums on vinyl, they have most of them on vinyl and some EPs, and I'm pretty sure there was only one variant of each, so I'm pretty sure I'm a completist when it comes to that. I really like their Bouquet EP, and this one is on black vinyl. And I also have their Collage EP. This one is pretty iconic, Closer is on it, and Don't Let Me Down. This one is on white vinyl. And then I have their first studio album called Memories Do Not Open. This one is on translucent gold vinyl. I also have their fourth album called So Far So Good, and this one is on a bone colored vinyl. This one is by far my favorite. It's my favorite Chainsmokers album. The Chainsmokers might actually be the first DJs that I was ever a huge fan of. I've always liked some of their big singles like Closer, Something Just Like This, their big radio hits, but I definitely became a huge super fan of them in 2019. That's really when I became a music lover. You'll hear me say 2019 a lot in this video. That was a pretty big year for me in terms of music, and I love the Chainsmokers so much. They were the first artists that I ever saw in concert. That was for their World War Joy tour in 2019. I love their sound, I love their genre. So after hearing their big singles, I went back and listened to their albums and I really fell in love with them. So that was around 2019, and then their album World War Joy came out. I loved the album, and that's when I went to my first concert to see them. And then they went on a 2-year hiatus, which I was so sad about. And during that period is when I started my YouTube channel, and so I was going back and getting all of their albums on vinyl, which I'm really glad I did because now most of them are sold out and they're super rare and expensive now, so I'm really glad I got them when I did. So for those 2 years, that's pretty much all I listened to in my collection because I was really sad that they were gone on hiatus. So to bring back those memories of me seeing them live and listening to their music, I would play their records, and so over time that has made them my most listened to artist. But then they came back with their fourth album, So Far So Good. But what I really love about them is their production and their creativity. I feel like Sick Boy and So Far So Good had their most unique sounding music. I feel like I like them a lot because of their simplicity, and I can relate to a lot of their lyrics, especially in the Sick Boy album. They have a lot of pop sounding songs and also a ton of EDM songs, of course. They have a really great mix of radio friendly hits and some really hardcore aggressive EDM songs, so I really like them for that. They have a little bit of everything. I think their music has really great drops. They use a lot of vocal chops and very powerful, emotional, nostalgic chords. I think that is what really drew me into their music. Now I'm gonna get into some rap and talk about my favorite rappers, starting with Post Malone. I've got his first album, Stoney. This one is on orange vinyl. Next I have Beer Bongs and Bentleys, and this one is on clear vinyl. Then I've got Hollywood's Bleeding, his third album, and this one is on hot pink vinyl. Next I have 12 Karat Toothache. This is the Target exclusive one, and this one is on red vinyl. And then I have a Record Store Day exclusive one. This is basically the deluxe edition to 12 Karat Toothache. It has the 2 bonus songs from that album, Hateful and Waiting for Never, on 12-inch single. I do have a couple Post Malone 45s. This one is the song Sunflower. Then I've also got Circles here, and I also have Wow. I think he was one of my favorite rappers from the very beginning when I first started getting into rap and listening to music. I don't listen to a ton of rap, just a few rappers here and there, but Post Malone has been one of the biggest ones for me. Probably my most listened to rapper. I find Post Malone's voice so unique. I really love the tone of it. In some of his songs he has a more deeper, raspier voice, and in some of his songs it's a little more high-pitched and more clean sounding. He definitely has a ton of variety. He can do a lot with his voice. He can rap and he can sing. Actually, I think he started out as a singer. I feel like a lot of rappers are kind of monotonous and they just have the same sound throughout all of their songs, but with Post Malone, he has a ton of variety. His songs always have really great catchy melodies, especially vocal melodies. He's really good at that. He can really do it all. He's got slow songs, pop songs, trap, rap. Even his most recent album is more rock. It's not really rap, I would say. So I think Beer Bongs and Bentleys and Hollywood's Bleeding are my favorite Post Malone albums. A lot of mainstream rappers to me don't really seem like true musicians. They're more just vocal oriented. They're just rappers. They don't really play instruments a whole lot. Post Malone does a lot himself. He plays a lot of guitar, but I really love listening to his albums on vinyl. They're mastered pretty well. There's lots of fun colored variants. Every time I play Beer Bongs and Bentleys, I think of the early stages in my record collection. Pretty sure that was the first Post Malone record I ever got. The last of my most listened to artists that I want to talk about in this video is Juice WRLD. I've got Goodbye and Good Riddance on vinyl. This is the standard black pressing. Thought about getting the anniversary edition. I might eventually get that. I also have Death Race for Love. This one is also the standard black pressing. After that, I've got Legends Never Die. This one is also on black vinyl, but you can't see because of the sleeve. And last but not least, I have Fighting Demons. This is the Target exclusive edition on red vinyl. I feel kind of bad because I wasn't a big hardcore Juice WRLD fan until after he died, but I wasn't really on the Juice WRLD radar until after he died. That's when I remembered like who he was, because I only heard a couple of his songs at that point, and so I went back and listened to all of his music and I became a really big fan in 2020. So I feel like I'm really late to the Juice WRLD gang, and I feel bad because I can't say I'm like an OG fan, but I am glad I did start when I did in 2020, because now I've been a Juice WRLD fan for a couple of years now and I've collected all of his albums on vinyl. I love this record so much. Since becoming a Juice WRLD fan and hearing all of his albums, Death Race for Love has always been my favorite. I feel like this one just has better beats. I feel like the producers on this record were the best, or maybe not the best, but just my favorite, especially the first 5-ish songs. Like the vibe is just incredible. I love Juice WRLD so much because, well, for obvious reasons, if you know, Juice WRLD freestyles a ton of his music and he's so talented for that. Not a lot of artists can do what he can do. He's vocally talented and he's so smart the way he can freestyle and just come up with lyrics in entire songs. He obviously has so much potential, and every time I listen to his music on vinyl, I just get so inspired because at the time he made those records, he was really young, around my age. I relate to a lot of his lyrics and his story, and we're both from Chicago. So I just really like listening to his music on vinyl to help keep the energy going, keep the vibe going, keep his memory going. Even though he's no longer with us, I still feel like he is every time I play his records. So hearing his voice through my speakers, it's like he's still alive. For me, Juice WRLD's music just hits different on vinyl. Those are my top 5 most listened to artists in my entire vinyl record collection. These artists I have been fans of for many years now, and over the past couple of years, I've been able to collect a lot of their albums on vinyl. They're some of my all-time favorite artists and I love collecting their music. I love listening to their music on vinyl. In the comments, tell me your most listened to artist in your entire record collection. If you don't collect records, you can still tell me your favorite artist that you listen to the most. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!